for the Onyx News. Extraterrestrials, time anomalies, dimensions, remote viewing, UFOs, UAPs, and USOs, ghostly encounters, abductions, Bigfoot, and more. Your end of the week news source for everything unexplained. Here is your host for the Onyx News Podcast, Margie Kay.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining me this evening. I have a fantastic show for you. You are not going to believe this evening, so stay tuned. The summer issue of Onyx Magazine just came out today. Yes, it is 7 days late. Tried for July 1st. It could not happen, but I just want to say thank you so much to Maureen Richmond, James Bear, and Dan Terry for contributing articles to this issue. And I think everybody's going to love it. My assistant, Violet, says it's the best one yet. So check it out. If you're an Onyx subscriber, you get a copy of the magazine for free, a digital copy. And so go to onyxnetwork.com and subscribe if you have not already. This evening, my show is highly unusual in that it involves a case that I've been working on for several years, 3 or 4 years. It's a lady in Weldon Spring, Missouri, which is on the east side of the state, not far from St. Louis. She started noticing strange things a few years ago, and then she started recording them, getting video, using her HD security system cameras, and getting video of a lot of anomalous objects. And so I've been working with her on this all along, and she has shared just a lot with me. But I finally was able to get out there in person in the last couple of months. So 2 visits in person, and I had my longtime investigation buddy with me, Debbie Ziegelmeyer. Debbie is the state director for Missouri MUFON, and I'm the assistant state director, and we have done a lot of cases together, including this one. And so I'm going to bring both ladies in now. Welcome to the program, Donna and Debbie.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Good to see you both. Thank you for joining me this evening to talk about this highly unusual situation at Donna's house. Now, Donna, you're the witness. You've lived there for quite some time. When did you first start noticing anomalous things on your video?
I actually got the security system in last year, the end of February. So, but things were happening before then, and that was one of the main reasons for putting it in, and of course security. But a lot of things have showed up on the security camera, things that shocked me when I saw them. So I knew a lot of stuff was going on, but the security camera picked them up. I actually started noticing things more after my husband passed away. He passed away in 2019, January of 2019, and I retired a year later. Well, actually, the end of 2019. So I had a lot more time on my hands, and I guess because I was so busy working before, I did notice things going on, but not quite as much as after I retired. And I started hearing sounds. I started seeing things, like things moving in the corner of my eye. Just here, not too long ago, I actually had something, standing behind me or behind me, and my hair raising up, like something was lifting the back of my hair. And so I pointed my phone at my mirror. I've got a large barber cabinet on the opposite wall. When I took the picture, I didn't see anything right away and just kind of discounted that. About a month later, I went to delete the picture, and there was an image there of something that looked very strange. So, but, so those are the kind of things. I've been touched. Nothing's ever hurt me, but I've been touched. I hear things moving in the house. I come out with my pets, and they will stand in the yard and look at the porch and start growling. So the security camera is picking up things that now I understand why. Sometimes they're afraid to come up on the porch, and why they bark and growl. So
Yeah, well, pets have a sixth sense. So I am not surprised at all in your case that your dogs would react to what's going on there.
right.
Now, some of the first photos, I think how we got connected was because we were talking about fast movers,
Right.
and you were able to get some video and stills of fast movers, and including a some type of winged creature.
Winged
It was very
creature. Yeah.
large.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that I even included that in my book, Winged Aliens,
Right.
your photo. So, yeah,
Yeah.
there's been a lot going on there for a long time, and then finally, after a couple of years, 3 years or so, trying to figure all this out, I got Debbie involved, and Debbie, you went with me the first time a couple months ago, and we just thought this was a normal, average UFO investigation, like usual, right? Is that what you thought we were getting into?
As usual, seems like everything that we do is a little unusual. It starts out usual, and it always takes a very interesting turn. But yes, I did. I was watching some of her video and looking at the area. It's an interesting area. Now, I did run across the whole area with a Geiger counter and didn't find anything radioactive. We ran across it also with EMF meter. Until we got to one area, and then we had some strange sightings that Margie will talk about that area a little bit later.
Yeah, we did check the grounds. You ran the Geiger counter, I ran the EMF meter, and there just wasn't anything outside until we got to the porch area, to this one particular spot. And so I pulled out the EMF spiked in one place where Donna had mentioned that next to her barbecue grill, something very strange she captured on video. So let's go back to that, Donna. What did you see in the video with the barbecue grill?
Well, let me tell the story here. Sometimes I have to wear some type of it's a glove that has for tendonitis. Okay, and this one disappeared, was gone for about 2 weeks, and by the way, it's gone again. So I'm hoping it shows up again. But anyway, it disappeared for a couple of weeks, and I had come in for the evening with my dog. I was getting ready to shut the blinds to get ready and go to bed, and I looked outside and I saw my glove laying on the porch. And so I came out, picked it up, and I thought, I know that wasn't here when I came in with the dog. So I had my security camera. In fact, I hadn't had it very long. It was in the winter time. And so I went in to back up to see if I could see when that came into view. So I come in the house with the dog. It was not there. So I keep going, let the recording play, and all of a sudden, this glove comes flying over the barbecue pit, and you see this dark hand. And I thought, what was that? So I back up the film, and you can see it looks like it's a small hand, and you can see part of the arm, and it's reaching between the barbecue pit and the white post. And I was like, that thing threw that over the grill. Then you see part of a face, of a small head, part of a face, but it's in the video, it's really distorted. It's dark, so you can't really see it real good. But then it backs up, and then you don't see it anymore. But the way the hand came out, the only way I can describe it is it looks like the yard is a picture, and this arm comes behind the picture, like it's reaching out of the sky, but the yard is in front of it. Does that make sense? It's like it's coming from somewhere else besides the yard.
Yeah. Yeah, like a doorway or
like a doorway, yeah.
Mhm.
And I've only seen that one time. So
Yeah, so that's why we were focused on that particular area.
yeah.
Just wondering why, how something like that would appear, and then, your glove appears.
Yeah.
So we were sitting around that back porch area and just kind of focused on that in several places. And at one point, and this is during the day, by the way,
Mhm.
at one point, I noticed something shimmery and blue on one end of the porch. And this part is important. That area made like a doorway shape because you have the floor, a post, and then it goes across the roof area and then down the house side.
Mhm.
So I have a theory just based on what I've experienced at my own house where I have something similar, and I've seen that blue shimmer and things go in and out of it. So my theory is that shape, a doorway shape, can create a place where a portal can be created. In other words, it could be used as a portal. And so I was looking for that. I was looking for something like that to be there because of all the strange things, these anomalous things that you've had happening at your place, which includes Sasquatch and a strange wolf-looking creature,
Mhm.
UFOs, of course, small craft and large craft,
Yeah.
and spirits as
Yeah.
well. So
Right.
with all that going on there, I kind of suspected there's a portal here somewhere. And then when I saw that shimmer, I pointed it out to you and Debbie, and then tell me what you saw. Let's start with you, Debbie. What did you see?
Oh, um, at first I didn't see anything, and then you kind of explained the way you look for something like that. That back in the 70s and 80s they had those pictures that were kind of distorted. You'd have to relax your eyes and cross them a little bit, and then the picture would come out. And I have one of those, so I thought I'm going to try that, and I did. And oh my gosh, from about my waist up to maybe the roof area, it looked shimmery and almost like water. I could definitely see something, and I didn't expect to. And I went, oh my gosh, I see it. It kind of shocked me. This was the first time. We're talking about the first visit, right?
Yeah.
So I did see something. I put my, I think I had, let's see, what was it? I had an EMF meter that was changing. So it just seemed like, was it my EMF, the tri meter? And the set, it would go up from, I think it was set at 54, and it was going up to 79. And then I'd move back just to one little bitty area. So that definitely when I would move just in the center part and I'd move my meter a little bit, it would go back to normal surrounding settings. And that one area would just spike. And it was just a small area. It was doing it in kind of dead center of the area we're talking about at the end of her, I guess that would be your patio.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And,
I'm sitting away from it right now.
Yeah.
yeah, don't go in there.
No, no.
I said, Donna, no, I said, don't go in there. So Donna, can you explain what you saw that first time?
Well, the first time I couldn't see it. When it was the second visit, that during the evening, I could actually see it on, I brought my tablet out to watch the security camera from the porch. And I could see it then. I could tell where it was. But now, just yesterday, I was able to see. I was sitting where you guys were sitting on the porch. And I was they're working on a house across the road, and I'm watching that. And then all of a sudden, I can see like a movement and what you said, kind of shimmering. There's things I could see that were there. And I actually had to go in because after I stared at it too much, I didn't feel too good. I started getting lightheaded, a little bit dizzy. And so I'm trying not to sit over there because I think I was a little too close, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm more sensitive. I don't know. So I'm sitting at the table where I sat for the other investigations, and I seem to be just fine. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's there. You can see it.
Yeah. It looks like blue, and then also some darker, like maybe even black lines that move, and it's wavy. It's not stagnant.
Right.
It's moving slightly.
Right. What I was seeing was like faded. They're like faded dark gray lines or something in there, and they are moving.
Yeah.
And I could see that very clearly yesterday.
Well, it's like taking a bowl and filling it with water and then looking straight down on it. And you can see that the water is clear, but you can see even a slight movement, or you can see the thickness. That's kind of what it looked like to me.
Right. Margie, do you remember when I told you about something visited me one night? I woke up and I could see it was like a bubble. And it looked like water on the sides, and it was a light blue color, but on the edges, it looked like water moving. That only happened once, but I was awake. I know I wasn't dreaming. And an image of it looked like my late husband showed up. But as soon as I said his name, it was like I went right back to sleep. It was but I remember it very vividly. It was like instant.
Yeah, you've got things going on inside the house and outside the house.
Oh, I'm seeing all kinds of stuff inside the house. My security camera picks it up, so in there. But
yeah, it's quite an active spot, and no doubt because of this. And every time I look at one of the photos or the video, I see something new in it.
Yeah.
And we are going to show those tonight, so hang tight, everybody. We're gonna get there. We're gonna show you some stuff that's and I'll tell you what, if you're a little squeamish, do not look at the photos because you're gonna see some weird things that we still cannot believe we saw or that we did. Donna was smart. She did not stick her arm in the portal.
No, I wasn't gonna do it.
Yeah, but as investigators, Debbie and I are used to going out and doing some crazy things. Yeah, and we've done quite a few crazy things. I think this is the worst because when I got home, I thought, that really wasn't very smart at all.
Well, I did it first, and I just wanted to see if I could feel anything. I didn't know what was going to happen. I don't want to ruin the surprise. But then you said, "Well, let me try." I thought, "What?" After what you saw happen to me, and then you went over too.
Oh my gosh, I started to panic when I saw your arm disappear. I was like, "Wait a minute."
Well, speaking of arms disappearing, Donna, let's get to that. So at one point that the second visit, we're into nighttime.
Yeah.
Things have gotten dark. We're looking at the skies. We're watching out for UFOs in the sky and in the yard because you've often had things happen in the yard.
Right.
And then things got really weird. And I got my REM pod out. So a REM pod is used in paranormal investigations, but I found out a few years ago that it comes in very handy with ET investigations as well. And it's also a good portal indicator, as it turns out. So I set the REM pod right on top of the barbecue grill, and it kept going off when, and this is weird. The portal, kind of like a screen, just for lack of a better word, I'm going to use the word screen, was very light and very light to the touch. But when the REM pod went off, the portal was perhaps activating. When you touched it, it was heavier and thicker. And Debbie, would you describe what it felt like when you touched it and put your hand in it?
Well, I didn't expect to feel anything. I was looking through my camera and my night vision camera, and I said, I think it's getting closer. I could see a kind of distortion getting closer and closer, and you looked and said it's at an angle. So I thought, well, Donna walks back and forth there all the time. I just thought, well, maybe going up slowly and putting my arm out, I might feel something different. So I slowly put my right arm, just went up and just slowly put my arm toward where I knew this distortion was. And as I put my arm in, I could feel my fingers tingling. And then I got my whole arm in, apparently from the elbow down to my fingertips. I felt kind of pins and needles. My arm felt heavier, just slightly heavier. But I felt like, you know how when your arm falls asleep and then when it wakes up and it's kind of like heavy and kind of prickly. And then it got stronger, and they were yelling at me, oh my gosh, we can't see your arms disappeared. I could see my arm, but leaving it in there, it just started to get stronger and stronger. The longer I left it stretched completely straight out, it seemed like like electric. Like electricity. It was like pins and needles. It was getting stronger and stronger and stronger the longer. And they go, oh, look, wait a minute, I want to get a picture. I'm like, hurry up. This is starting to hurt. So,
yeah, we're like, Debbie, wait. We need to
hold on. We want to capture this.
Well,
so finally, I pulled I'll just slowly move my arm back out again. But the whole time I could see my arm, but I could feel the effect. I still have all my fingers. I mean, here they work.
That's good.
Yeah. Yay, got that back.
Well, and now too, though, I do have a bracelet that's supposed to help for energy. And if you can see on both sides, it's twisted around the other way, but it's magnets. I don't know if that intensified or what, but then Margie kind of did the same thing to you too. But I have a little magnetic rubber bracelet.
Yeah, when I put my arm in, I noticed it was heavier, and it felt almost as thick as water. It was like heavy air.
Yeah.
And then I got the electric shock feeling that you had been talking about with most of it concentrating in the very center of my hand, like a little jolt of electricity. And that's when I pulled my arm out. Because there definitely was something happening. It was highly unusual. And then the other thing is I I also used my tri-field meter, and on the only setting that I got a reading on was RF frequency.
Yeah.
And that spiked all the way. So there was something happening with that. And I would like to go back with some better equipment, and I want to check for 1.6 gigahertz to see what's happening, because if you notice on Skinwalker, they're checking for that particular frequency, and when it's activated, they think that the portal is activated there, and I think that's what's happening at Donna's house as well. We are up on a break, and we'll be back in about 3 minutes. Don't go away. We've got some good video and photos to show you. We'll be right back. This is Margie Kay, inviting you to check out the latest edition of Onyx News Magazine with thought-provoking articles about UFOs, extraterrestrials, cryptids, consciousness, and amazing photos of anomalous objects and more. And there's always a feature article by our managing editor, Lee Spiegel. Get a free digital issue with your free subscription to the Onyx Network, or get a printed copy with your X Club Gold subscription in the U.S. Visit onyxnetwork.com to see details. That's onyxnetwork.com. Are you thinking about purchasing a wood-fired heating or cooking appliance but don't know where to start? The new book, Wood-Fired Heating and Cooking, will guide you through the process and make the decision much easier. Find out about wood stoves, wood-burning fireplace inserts, masonry heaters, cook stoves, brick ovens, and more. Learn about operation and maintenance, buying and storing wood, even how to make your own charcoal. A bonus section includes delicious recipes for cooking in a wood-burning oven, grill, tandoori oven, or smoker. The wise homeowner, prepper, or homesteader will have the ability to heat their home with wood when the power goes out, or to save money on increasing gas bills. Wood-fired heating and cooking is available at Amazon. Visit www.woodfiredpub.com for more information. That's woodfiredpub.com. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Margie Kay, and you're listening to UnX News, or perhaps you're watching us, and hopefully you are, because right now on YouTube or Rumble, you're going to see some very interesting photos and videos that you don't want to miss. So if you're listening on the airwaves, switch over here to YouTube and check it out. My guests this evening are Donna Wilder and Debbie Ziegelmeyer. Donna is a witness. She has got some very strange things happening at her house in Weldon Spring, Missouri. And Debbie Ziegelmeyer is the state director for Missouri MUFON. She's also on the MUFON board of directors. And she and I have worked together for many years doing investigations. And she came with me on this case. And I'm glad she did, because I don't think she would believe me if I told her what happened.
I don't believe me.
Yeah. They say seeing is believing, but feeling is believing too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So without further ado, I'm going to show a few photos. So we'll just kind of discuss what these are, and they're in no particular order. This is from Donna's HD night vision security camera. And we are on the porch, and right now Debbie's sister is right at where the portal is. There seems to be a white dot next to her head there that is not in other photos.
Right.
Okay, now explain this one, Donna.
Oh, wow. You and I were standing there, and I think I'm too close to the portal where I'm standing, because we had just put our hands up on the portal, and you were explaining to me, touching the portal where it's at, and I had my hand up and I could feel tingling. And so we're discussing that after our hands come down. And I happened to, when I was looking at the still shot of this photo, my face is so distorted. My eyes are huge and black, and it looks like a light coming out of my eyes. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. It's just creepy.
It looks pretty strange.
Yeah, and under my chin, you see something. It's part of my hand, which is also distorted. So, yep.
Okay, and
this one here, that's Debbie's sister standing there. This image here came from the ground up. Okay, and what happened was that dot of ball of light that we saw earlier, that actually came from her left and went through the back of her hair. And as it exited, this image came up from the ground, and this is right before it exits out into the yard. But there's another image that shows I think the middle image. It looks like a hand. You can see the thumb, you can see fingers, and it looks like it's holding her, because as that one image came out and exited to the right through her hair, she kind of tilted to the right, and then this hand is there. So, but that was one of the images. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have more. I'll probably show that in a minute.
My sister, I'll just explain really quick. She was out visiting for a month. She's a MUFON Star Team investigator from California. That's one reason why I brought her along. I just don't automatically take family members on investigations. So she is an investigator.
And she is sitting there in the back, farthest away. And if you'll notice, ladies, in this photo, in the center of the portal, there's a white line. There's something there.
Yes.
In that one.
Yeah, you'll see that in other pictures. It's actually exiting the porch. You'll see there it is. Yeah, there's actually two images there.
Yep, there's a thick one and a thin one.
Yes.
Okay, and that's another one.
Yeah, it's another one.
Okay, that's me putting my arm in. Now, when I put my arm in, it disappeared on camera, and Donna says, "Oh my gosh, your arm has disappeared."
Yep.
And when Debbie and I both did it. But to me, it looked like my arm was faded out, but I could still see it, but it was not too visible.
Right.
It was like looking through a screen or something. And then it got distorted, and it's a little bit distorted there in that photo.
There it's really,
really distorted in that photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one looks kind of creepy. That's why I said if anybody gets creeped out real easily, you might not want to be watching the rest of this.
Right.
Okay. So, and here's another one of these objects.
Yeah.
And now they've gone horizontal instead of vertical.
Yes.
And we're all looking in that direction, but we did not see those with the naked eye. Now, what we did see with the naked eye was some what looked like eyes that were very dull, very dimly lit. You saw those too, didn't you, Debbie?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I think all of us saw that. We thought, I was using a laser light that had a grid up in order to see if anything would move through it. And it started doing something very strange while we were there. It started just going dim and going out. And it doesn't do that. I had my finger on the button the whole time. It's never done that before. And so something was affecting that. But then left behind were these two eyes looking back.
Yeah.
And we all saw that.
Totally different look from the others.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. Okay, so that's that one. And then here, that one gets more distorted. We have the vertical ones, and there's another one, really distorted hand.
Yeah.
And that one. So you can clearly see something is going on in that space that is not normal. And here's another one of that one object. And they've come in and they've moved on to the porch. It's like they just came into the portal.
Right. There's the hand.
There's what looks like a hand next to Debbie's sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. And none of us saw that with the naked eye.
No.
Okay, here's one with Debbie with something next to her.
Yeah. Came up behind her. I don't think you've seen that one, have you, Debbie?
No.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
I've just touched the surface of going through the video.
Yeah, and here's another. This almost reminds me of a television screen, of looking at part of a television screen. Not quite sure what that is. Now, we also went inside and watched on the big screen.
Yeah.
And you showed us some things that you captured while we were outside. This is the front of your house, right?
Yes, that's it. That's the front of the house over the driveway, and this is some type of a craft. It's like in 3 sections, and I've seen this is the largest. There were 2 of them that came over the house at about the same time. One over the driveway, which is over the front of the house. One over on the right side of the house, which faces the woods. And they're both about the same size, and they both came over at the same time. And I mean, very fast. They're fast movers. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. And then I want to show this photo. Okay.
Yes.
This is what you were talking about.
Yes.
You stopped it, and in one frame, you were able to capture these objects.
Yep.
And it was moving extremely. It was so fast you could barely see that anything was moving. If you weren't looking for it, you wouldn't see it.
Yep.
But then look what you found, Donna. You found this UFO Files group. And that shape looks real similar.
very similar. In fact, I have seen, it's exactly what I was describing. It's got like three sides to it. And I was calling these craft that I'm seeing kind of like the shape of the Starship Enterprise, and
Mhm.
I'm seeing them in all different sizes. The one video, I'm not sure, I don't think we have it on here. When you guys watched it, I can't remember if it was the first or second time you were here, we watched that small craft fly close to the ground
Yes.
in the front yard. And that is a very similar shape to what this large one is. It's got like three sections. It definitely has structure to it. And it came from between two of my blue spruces. So it was not in front of it. It comes between those, and not large. It was a smaller one, but this one that came over the house was a lot larger.
Yeah. It
So
definitely has structure to it. Several of the objects
yeah,
that you have been able to capture
yeah,
have structure, and they
yeah,
do look like you mentioned, like the Starship
yeah.
Enterprise.
But
It's
I'm actually catching some on the back porch here that are extremely small. I mean,
uh-huh.
the size of my hand probably. So I'm seeing them in all different sizes. So
Okay. Let me show. I've got 3 videos here. They're short videos. Let me go ahead and show these. Okay, I think this is where you're going to be able to see
yep,
on video, see my arm
right.
distort. Now you can see it, you can hardly see it, and it looks like it's left behind for a minute there. And then I'm going to do it again. I don't know how smart that was. But, yeah, Debbie
You
gets
only
me into
stuck your
all kinds of
hand.
trouble.
You only stuck your hand in. I put my whole arm in.
Yeah.
No, I put my whole arm in. It went up to above my elbow.
Did it? Did it?
Yeah. Now there, I'm just touching the outside and talking to Donna about it. Just touching the outside of it. Oh, okay. And it's the end of that one. Okay.
Oh my gosh, my arm is gone. Oh.
You can actually see.
Back away from this.
Yeah.
There we go.
I didn't want to turn around.
Okay. I think while the video's on, there's no audio for us. So, yeah, that was really creepy watching your arm disappear like that. But I saw it with the naked eye. So Donna got it on camera and we all saw it with the naked eye. Like, whoa, Debbie's arm just disappeared. Where did it go?
Yeah, my sister Diane said that too. I said, do you think it might be the video camera effect? And she said, oh no, I wasn't looking through my cell phone camera or anything. She said, I was just looking behind you and I saw your arm disappear. And
Right.
she wasn't looking at the camera screen like you both were. She said she was watching me. And she said, your arm definitely disappeared. Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Margie goes, let me try.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the last one. Oh, well, you can see that.
Oh, yeah.
You can see it go through it.
You can see it go through it.
You can see because when I had my hand
Yeah.
up, it shifted.
Yep. Oh.
Oh.
You see that?
Oh.
No, it looks distorted too.
Yeah. Look how your wrist is bending.
Oh my God.
It's like kind of like my fence out here, that post.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Oh, look, it comes back at a different time.
Yeah.
It's like it stretches out.
Again, you're making a hole and coming back.
Yeah, it got real wavy.
Yeah.
So I saw two arms when I brought my arm back.
Ugh.
The normal one, and then I saw this other one waving up and down. Was bizarre.
Well, see, this is why we did a daytime investigation, and we thought there was something there. And then you decided that we should go back at night and try different instruments and just see if it was any different at night if we pick something up. So, 2-part investigation. So, good job,
well,
Margie.
it's not over.
We're gonna have part 3.
Yeah.
It just started.
We'll take our chief investigator, Mel, and tell him this time you put your arm in, we'll videotape.
Yeah. We got a question? Did anyone stick a camera or mirror in the portal? No, we didn't, but that's a good idea.
Yeah.
We'll take an inexpensive camera, not the expensive one. Yeah, we have a lot more work to do. Of course, we've still got video to go back and look at, but I thought it was important to get this information out there and tell other people that if you see some blue shiny stuff, do not stick anything in it. Because you don't know what's going to happen. Really, we don't know what would have happened if we'd left our arms in there longer for a long period.
Yeah.
And that's a little scary thought. Donna, have you had anything else happen? Well, I know you have since we've been out there. So tell what that is.
Oh gosh. I'm going blank. Well, I mean, sitting out here yesterday, I didn't feel good because I was looking at that area, not really realizing that it was affecting me right away. And like I said, I was watching the people. They're working on the house across the road, and I'm watching it, and all of a sudden I see the portal, and the longer I stared at it, it was affecting me. And I would look away, and I would look towards the left side, looking at the sky, and then I felt okay. But as soon as I looked at the portal, I could feel myself getting lightheaded and feeling somewhat dizzy and a little bit nauseous. And
Wow.
So I went inside. As far as things going on in the house, I pick up things on my nighttime security. When I turn that on at night, I almost always pick something up. Little creatures flying around. I know some are probably bugs if they get in there, but some things with faces. It's bizarre. And I've actually captured things flying through the house, coming through the front door and out the back porch. So straight through the house. Yeah. And I know that Debbie checked the inside of the house, but you didn't get any readings during the day, did you? Yeah.
No.
So, but those are the kind of things I capture in the house. I hear things move sometimes. Well, another time was something was unlocking my back door, the door we come out before I knew there was a portal there. I think I told you that one night the door unlocked 3 times,
Oh, yes. Yes.
and I actually heard it happening, and I got pretty aggravated. So I asked them to stop, and after that, it hasn't happened since. But I actually heard the door unlock. The first time I thought, well, maybe I left it unlocked, so I locked it, and then went back into the family room, and I actually heard it unlock twice. When I came back in twice, it was unlocked. After the third time, that's when I asked it to stop, and it hasn't happened since.
By the
Margie,
way, everybody, we're hearing the typing and the clacking in the background too, but I can't find a source for it. It's not any of us. None of us are typing. Race is not, or if he is typing, he's on mute, so we shouldn't be able to hear that. So I don't know what that is.
Margie, I don't think it's typing. It sounds like someone's twisting something. It doesn't sound like keys. Like, like maybe the top of a pen, it's kind of clicking or twisting. And I can't. I've been trying to figure it out for 20 minutes.
Huh.
So everybody in the chat room, I am so sorry, but it's it's one of those anomalies that happens when you bring 3 wild and crazy women together for one.
Margie, one of the questions at the bottom or the comments said, "Have you tried having somebody go to the area that isn't a remote viewer, a psychic, I forgot, a medium?" I'm not. I mean, you keep saying, well, I may or may not be a sensitive. I'm not a practicing medium or psychic or remote viewer or anything. There you go. That answers the question.
And your sister isn't.
My sister Diane
Donna
is not
isn't.
either. No,
That's just me.
just you.
So, yeah, and speaking of that, I did remote view the portal a few days ago. And what I saw, I actually went into the portal and I saw 2 very weird things, which might be a little freaky. One was a wolf, a very large wolf, like a skinwalker. And the other one was a very thin, wiry, muscular, humanoid type being that was crouched down on the ground. But if he stood up, he would probably be 10 feet tall. Very, very long, like a Slender Man type of a creature. And so at that point, I knew I was not looking at 3D reality, our dimension. I was looking into another dimension, and that was just in there in your yard area. Okay. So I pulled out real fast.
I should have asked you, because when you told me you saw some things, I didn't ask you what they were. Isn't it funny? There's a very large, what looks like a coyote hanging around, and I've caught it on security camera. This thing is very large. And you're talking about Slender Man. You remember a while back I told you I was
Yes.
out
explain what you saw.
This happened, oh gosh, over a year ago. It has to be a year and a half, maybe. I take my dogs out sometimes pretty late at night, and this was probably around 2 a.m. And there were some deer. I feed the deer, and the deer were eating corn on that retaining wall. And so I'm standing there over on the side of the house at the corner, and I noticed the deer staring up towards the road. There's a sidewalk where people can walk, and a large high retaining wall there. So these deer, you get to understanding when they see something because their ears they're alert, the ears stand straight out. And so I looked up there, and it was in a very dark area, and it took a while for my eyes to focus, but there was a very tall looking man, very skinny, long, skinny arms. Um, and he just stood there staring. And he didn't say anything. You know, I just looked at him, and he just stood there for the longest time. And then he started to walk away. And I watched him as he came into the light more. Once he got out of that darkness, he was extremely tall. And his legs were very thin. His arms were very long. And he walked behind what I call the island in my yard, that one area where the grasses are grown up. And then I never saw him again. I didn't see him walk on the other side or anything. He just, that was it.
I think it was something interdimensional
Yeah,
related to that portal.
Yeah.
But I can't believe it, ladies, but we are out of time. Thank you so much for coming on the program and discussing this. And it's not over. So we will be doing some more investigating, everybody. And as soon as we get some more details and revisit this site, we'll definitely come back. And I hope both of you will come back on the program to discuss it.
Nice seeing
This
you
is
again,
Margie
Donna.
Kay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Margie.
you all
Thank
for
you, Donna.
joining me this evening. We'll see you here next week.